News reports have claimed that
all without manipulation. That's The Plotline with Rick Hughes. Sunday mornings at 8, right here on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
It is a Wednesday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. Glad to have you along with us today as Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is in the crosshairs, the confirmation crosshairs, being questioned by senators in Washington, D.C., hoping to become confirmed as the head of Health and Human Services. I don't know. As I assess this, it looks like a pretty uphill battle for RFK. He's got a lot of interviews out there, a lot of past statements, a lot of things that people claim that he's anti-vax, although he's fighting back against that today. And he's got a, to say the least, sordid and checkered past when it comes to his moral behavior and other things. The Kennedy family is very powerful. The problem is a lot of people in the Kennedy family are against his nomination. They're disowning him because, of course, he has allied himself with Donald Trump. And I think that's why Trump nominated him. It's a make good on the fact that RFK, who had like 3% maybe in the polls, but in a very close election, 3% makes the difference. So Trump's insulated here. If RFK doesn't get confirmed, Trump has done all he could do. I don't think there's any thought that Trump is not fighting for RFK. He's going to have to stand on his own merits, answer the questions. He's very good on his feet answering questions, and he's very willing to confront senators who claim that he said things in the past. Oh, we have you saying this on a podcast. And he says, the rest of the quote is, which of course, he's not going to get a fair shake. If he has Donald Trump's stamp of approval, he's not going to have most Democrats' stamp of approval. So as we start the show today, I want to welcome to the show my friend Alan Rogers, who's sitting in for Jeff today and producing the show. Jeff owes you money? Oh, Alan Rogers. Okay, very good. So I spent all morning, as I always do, cutting up sound for the show. And there were times where I noticed when I was replaying it to check it that it sounded obnoxiously loud. And now when I call it up, Alan, I have this looks like super hot sound. It's like off the chart. So I'm going to play this objection from Ron Wyden, a senator from Oregon. I'm going to take the volume down because honestly, this is like a jack-in-the-box surprise. I'm not sure what I'm going to get here. I'm not sure if I'm going to get screaming, unintelligible Ron Wyden, or if I'm going to get decent Ron Wyden, at normal levels, or if it just looks like it's unplayable off my array. But everything's been cut, and it's all going to be like this. So either this is going to work, or if it doesn't work, we're going to have no sound for the rest of the show, okay? No, it's not you. I do it myself. I noticed that, and I don't know why. Somebody was in here yesterday on my computer and, playing around with the levels, and I didn't recognize it in time. So here we go. Ron Wyden, cautiously, stating his case against Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
personally and closely.
Wait a minute. I started that in the middle because I was too preoccupied with the actual sound level. So let's go back to the very beginning. Here's Oregon Senator, Democrat, Ron Wyden, not a fan of RFK Jr.
After a careful review of Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s statements, actions, and views, materials that I have reviewed personally and closely, I reached the conclusion that he should not be entrusted with the health and well-being of the American people. When he's taken every side of every issue, how can this committee and the American people believe he has anything to say?
All right, so that's basically what they're going to do. That's their plan of attack. You said this on a podcast here. You said something else on a podcast here. You wrote in your book this. These two statements contradict. How can we know that you're not anti-vax? Here's Robert F. Kennedy answering that charge right off the top in his opening statement.
Before I conclude, I want to make sure the committee is clear about a few things. News reports have claimed that I'm anti-vaccine or anti-industry. I am neither. I am
Oh, yeah.
pro-safety.
We got the protester in the middle of the testimony here.
Please proceed, Mr. Kennedy.
I am pro-safety. I worked for years to raise awareness about the mercury and toxic chemicals in fish, and nobody called me anti-fish. And I believe that that vaccines play a critical role in healthcare. All of my kids are vaccinated. I've written many books on vaccines. My first book in 2014, the first line of it is, I am not anti-vaccine, and the last line is, I am not anti-vaccine.
Now, he says he's not anti-vaccine, and he makes an important distinction in there. He is not anti-fish. Now, there are a lot of people, and I used to work with some of them, who were anti-fish in the office microwave. I put fish in the office microwave, and you know who you are out there elsewhere here in Columbus Radio. And there was a concerted effort by my coworkers to come at me the way these senators are coming to RFK, because I dared to warm up fish in the office microwave. They were anti-fish. I was trying to be healthy. They were anti-fish. RFK says he is not anti-fish, so that's a good thing. Nor is he anti-vax. Yes, I've heard him say that before. Here is how RFK Jr. wrapped up his opening statement to the Senate Finance Committee this morning.
In my advocacy, I've often disturbed the status quo by asking uncomfortable questions. Well, I'm not going to apologize for that. We have massive health problems in this country that we must face honestly. And the first thing I've done every morning for the past 20 years is to get on my knees and pray to God that he would put me in a position to end the chronic disease epidemic and to help America's children. That's why I'm so grateful to President Trump for the opportunity to sit before you today and seek your support and partnership in this endeavor. I will conclude with a promise. The members of this committee, to the president, and to all the tens of millions of parents across America, especially the moms, who have propelled this issue to center stage. Should I be so privileged as to be confirmed, we will make sure our tax dollars support healthy foods. We will scrutinize the chemical additives in our food supply. We will remove financial conflicts of interest from our agencies. We will create an honest, unbiased, gold standard science at HHS, accountable to the president, to Congress, and to the American people. We will reverse the chronic disease epidemic and put the nation back on the road to good health.
Okay, that's a noble promise. Okay, now here's my position on RFK's nomination. I would not have voted for RFK for president. I would not have voted for RFK for president because RFK is, in the past, been pro-abortion. But in his position in Health and Human Services, I believe there is the proper amount of supervision and checks on him by people above him in the Trump administration, most notably Trump, most notably Susie Wiles and others who can filter RFK's positions through the prism of potential political damage and whether the fight is worth the fight that RFK may want to engage in. I think America is receptive to RFK on the greater umbrella label, Make America Healthy Again. It is undeniable that we are an obese society, that we are an unhealthy society, and that the degree to which processed foods have contributed to that, to astronomical medical costs, to ridiculous solutions to our obesity problem, like, oh, well, here, just take a shot of Ozempic, and then you can eat whatever you want, and you'll lose weight. Well, Ozempic also has impacts, many people say, many people who've been on Ozempic say it has had catastrophic effects on their bone density. So I don't think it's a bad thing that we want to get healthier again. and return our food supply to things that prohibit the insertion of chemicals in our food supply that they don't allow in other countries around the world. And the other thing I see with RFK's nomination is Democrats are going to paint him with a broad brush because he's aligned with Trump. And so they're going to say that he's anti-vax. Okay, look, I'm not anti-vax, but if you've had a child and you've looked at all the things they want to vaccinate your child for, they want to vaccinate your baby against certain like sexually transmitted diseases, and your child is hopefully 2 decades away from ever encountering that, unless they're married before they're age 20. So this is a smear campaign against RFK. And I'm not saying that I endorse his morality. I endorse how he treated his first wife. I'm not endorsing any of that. But look, if the Trump presidency is about anything, it's about disruption. And you can see that disruption in some of the executive orders he issued yesterday. HHS under Biden endorsed completely unhinged policies. We'll articulate that in the difference next.
Clouds and limited sun, breezy afternoon, high today at 42. Breezy this evening, clear skies tonight, low 25. Increasing cloudiness tomorrow by 45. Tomorrow the low at 41. And then periods of rain, mild day on Friday, by Friday 53. Clouds and breaks of sun, a much colder day on Saturday. By Saturday afternoon, 38. Morning rain Sunday, then cloudy with a high 52. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Owning a home is a dream come true, but keeping it comfortable? Temperature Pro understands that your HVAC system is the heart of your home's comfort. When it needs attention, you deserve service that's fast, transparent, and reliable. More than just a repair company, they're your home's partner, offering professional service that respects your space and your family. For routine maintenance or an unexpected breakdown, trust Temperature Pro to keep your home running smoothly with no surprises on pricing. Temperature Pro, your comfort is our promise.
A new president is sworn in. America's greatness is being restored. And there's breaking news every minute. Now, tens of millions of Americans are turning off Fox and CNN and tuning in to Newsmax for the breaking information they really need to know. Reuters Institute says Newsmax is one of the top news brands in America. Find it yourself on all major cable systems and on your TV or smartphone store. Just download the Newsmax app for free and start watching. You'll get great shows with Rob Schmidt, Greta Van Susteren, Rob Finnerty, and Carl Higbee, and more. Find out why millions of Americans have made the switch. Even President Trump says Newsmax is terrific, and he's watching. So make the switch to Newsmax. Check us out on cable and satellite TV or download the Newsmax app today. Watch us anytime, anywhere. Remember, Newsmax is real news for real people.
Winter is here, and if your home's heating system is on its last leg, don't wait any longer to replace that tired old furnace. Get a brand new Goodman furnace from Temperature Pro for just $1,900 through the Discount Shopping Club. Regular price is $3,800. Temperature Pro is a leader in both commercial and residential HVAC systems. And this one's guaranteed to go quickly, so check out this great deal at 989theanswer.com.
Hi, it's Bruce Hooley with exciting news about the newest product from MyPillow. Now, for years, customers have been asking if MyPillow sells the cross necklaces like the one Mike Lindell proudly wears every day. So, they're excited to announce that Mike has partnered with a jeweler right here in the USA to create a beautiful sterling silver cross. My crosses.
Your live
save
read is
30%
QC Kinetics.
by using my promo code Bruce at mypillow.com. Just click on the radio podcast square and use my promo code Bruce at mypillow.com to get this latest product, My Cross. You can choose from the men's or the women's style. The My Cross for women has a more delicate look and is reversible with mother of pearl style translucent white enamel on one side and an onyx style black enamel on the other. The My Cross for men has a slightly larger cross with onyx style black enamel and a slightly longer, thicker chain. Now, this amazing offer won't last long. So order now at mypillow.com. Use my promo code Bruce, mypillow.com, promo code Bruce.
Sorry, ma'am, but you need to vacate this home.
Why, officer? I own this home free and clear. I lived here for 40 years.
Well, unfortunately, this paperwork says otherwise.
But I have nowhere else to go.
I'm sorry to hear that, ma'am.
This story is becoming all too common in the U.S. Scammers are preying on people with high equity or who own their homes free and clear of a mortgage. Only one company completely protects you. That's Equity Protect. Get your free risk report by texting the word home to 94878. Again, text the word home to 94878 to get your free risk report from Equity Protect.
RFK confirmation hearings in front of Congress right now. Health and Human Services important, and vaccines are on the table. But you know what is not controversial is that your body is equipped to heal itself. And that's what they've tapped into at QC Kinetics. Advanced biologic treatment is essentially just offering an assist to your body to do what it is naturally equipped to do. We see evidence of this every single day. When you suffer a minor injury, you sprain your ankle or stub your toe or you cut your finger, you don't go to the doctor for that. You don't need pills for that. You don't need a surgery for that. Why? Because your blood has healing agents in it, and eventually it takes care of the issue. That's the principle behind advanced biologic treatments at QC Kinetics. Clinics in Dublin and Gahanna, they offer you a free, no-obligation consultation, and they'll tell you about how they'll withdraw your blood, extract the healing agents, they're called platelets in your blood, re-inject them in your body in the affected areas so you can get relief. Reach out, find out more about it, 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. So RFK Jr. in front of the Senate Finance Committee this morning. He will be in front of a different committee tomorrow. Tomorrow, RFK will appear before the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee. Remember, the longer the title. Also tomorrow, Kash Patel, Trump's nominee for the FBI, will be in front of the Senate Intelligence Committee. Yes, I know, oxymoron. And Tulsi Gabbard will be in front of the Armed Services Committee. She is Trump's nominee for Director of National Intelligence. These are the three remaining controversial Trump cabinet nominees. Pete Hegseth made it through, needed J.D. Vance to get confirmation. I don't know if any, all, some, one of these three will need J.D. Vance's backing, or if that, even with that, would be insufficient to get them confirmed. The general consensus is that somebody will get rejected. The over-under you would set at 1.5. So if you picked one, you'd lose in Vegas. You picked two, you'd win in Vegas. They are trying to paint Tulsi Gabbard as a Russian asset. That didn't go well when they tried to paint Trump as one. Tulsi Gabbard has a decorated military record, and she's committed the unpardonable sin of leaving the Democratic Party and calling it out for what it is, agenda-driven. Health and Human Services under Xavier Becerra was very much agenda-driven. Health and Human Services was all about transing the kids, which yesterday, did you see one of Donald Trump's latest executive orders? He signed this order yesterday that would protect children from irreversible gender transition procedures, calling them a stain on our nation's history. Yes, it is a stain on our nation's history. Time will prove, and I certainly hope this will be true of abortion at some point, although people are so locked in to their personal investment in abortion as birth control, that I doubt we will ever come, in my lifetime at least, to view abortion as the egregious human rights violation that it is. It should be viewed as we now view lobotomies, which were at the time, quote unquote, settled science, but now we don't do lobotomies anymore. That is how we should come to view transgender surgeries, because that is how other countries around the globe that were ahead of us on this now view them. So Trump's executive order says the United States will not fund, sponsor, promote, assist, or support the attempted gender transition of a child, promising that the administration will, and I quote, rigorously enforce all laws that prohibit or limit these destructive and life-altering procedures. So Trump dropping a truth bomb on the whole sordid, seamy, for-profit gender transition, sexual mutilation surgeries practiced by hospitals right here in Ohio. Remember, we had the 6th highest number of these surgeries of any state in the union. And when you total up how many ridiculously lost, democratically aligned states there are in the country, California, New York, New Jersey. I would throw Maryland in there as one. I'm probably missing one or two. We're sixth. I named four. We're sixth. We're a red state. Like, we went for Trump double figures. Yet hospitals in our state, Akron, Nationwide, Cincinnati Children's, are all doing these transgender surgeries. Not anymore. Trump has outlawed them. And I hope there are a lot of doctors who engaged in this debauchery and barbarism. I hope they're all out of business. So that's a great thing. Here's the quote from Trump's executive order. Across the country today, medical professionals are maiming and sterilizing a growing number of impressionable children under the radical and false claim that adults can change a child's sex through a series of irreversible medical interventions. This dangerous trend will be a stain on our nation's history, and it must end. The executive order continues. Countless children soon regret that they have been mutilated and begin to grasp the horrifying tragedy that they will never be able to conceive children of their own or nurture their children through breastfeeding. Moreover, the vulnerable youth's medical bills may rise throughout their lifetime, as they are often trapped with lifelong medical complications, losing a war with their own bodies, and tragically suffering sterilization. So whoever he's getting to write these executive orders, it's a brilliant team of people who are returning us to a common sense country, a truth-based country. And in that vein, yesterday, Trump issued another executive order for which he is already being sued. And that executive order would toss transgender soldiers out of the military. Now, it has been said often, erroneously, but often, that diversity is our strength. Well, I have a question. If diversity is our strength in the U.S. military, why do everyone in the military branches wear the same uniform? Why, when somebody is inducted into the U.S. military, males, why do they cut most of their hair off? There is a uniformity in the military that must be observed. There is a training procedure proven effective over time, that when you bring in individuals into the United States military, you must first strip them of their individuality and build them back up as a highly functioning team, an elite team of warriors who no longer buy into their own individual ideologies, but rather understand and adopt the shared values and mission of their platoon, of their branch of the service, of the fact that they defend the United States of America collectively when you bring all the branches of the military together. So diversity is not, and never has been, a strength of the United States military. Uniformity, buying into an ideal, is the strength of the United States military. And the fact that we've gotten away from that idea, that we have made room for and coddled people who want to join the military for the benefits but maintain their own personal truth, is demonstrated in the fact that it's been quite a while since we have been able to flex our military might and actually win a war rather than tie and leave with our tail tucked between our legs like we did in Vietnam and like we did in Afghanistan. So no, diversity is not our strength. And so you cannot have men who believe they are women in the barracks of female soldiers. I don't know that we have women who are in men's barracks, but if we did, that would be completely ineffective as well. So return to common sense. Love it.
SRN News, Shana Chumison. President Trump's nominee for Health Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., is before the Senate Finance Committee this morning, being questioned on a range of topics, including allegations that he is anti-vaccine. Kennedy says he is not, noting that all of his children have been vaccinated. This is the first of 2 days of hearings for Kennedy. The Biden White House didn't really seem to know what was happening, but from the Trump White House, some answers about the swarm of drones spotted repeatedly late last year. The Trump White House says they were authorized by the FAA and were in the air for some sort of research and other reasons. President Trump has invited Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to the White House next week, and Israeli officials say 3 Israelis and 5 Thai nationals will be the next 8 hostages to be released by Hamas. That release is expected tomorrow. More details at SRNnews.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-885-3333. That's 800-885-3333. 800-885.
Resist the Drift Marriage Conference is coming to Genoa Church on February 14th and 15th. Help you and your spouse feel more like soulmates again. Join Focus on the Family and 98.9 FM The Answer by registering now at resistthedrift.com.
Hi, I'm Paul George with Keller Williams Greater Columbus Realty, host of the Paul George Real Estate Show, broadcasting every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. on 98.9 The Answer. Using over 30 years of trusted real estate agent experience in Central Ohio, I'll share invaluable insights into the ever
Your live read this time is open.
Provide you with current trends.
The one at near the top of the hour is a My Pillow bonus live read.
Every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. right here on 98.9 FM The Answer. The following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a 100% complimentary stay at a luxury resort in Cancun, airfare not included, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. See website for complete details. We're giving away 5 days and 4 nights to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. If you know it, call now. 800-208-0414. 800-208-0414. You're also eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and you get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $498. What are you waiting for? Call 800-208-0414. 800-208-0414 and give us your answer. Proceeding is not a contest. It is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways and not sponsored by this program or its affiliates.
He's one of the top 10 radio hosts in the country. He never tarnishes his opinions. And now more than ever, you need to spend part of your day with a healthy dose of the Mike Gallagher Show. Weekday mornings from 9 to 11 on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
First of the year is a time when a lot of you have breathed a sigh of relief. Ooh, got the Christmas tree away. The decorations are back in the basement or up in the attic. And now it's time to get on with life. And one of the things you intended to do when the holiday season snuck up on you is remodel your flooring. Well, I can help you with that. Go to brucehooley.com and click the flooring tab. That will allow you to leave me your name and address, contact information. Tell me a little bit about your project. And I'd love to reach out, meet you, talk with you, help you save money and get your products installed faster. We have all the name brands of carpet, Shaw, Dreamweaver, Anderson, Tough Text, you name it, we have it. We have all the best and latest styles in luxury vinyl plank flooring in all the shades. Looks like wood, performs better than wood because it doesn't scratch and it's waterproof and it's extremely durable, or they wouldn't send a wire brush with the display, daring you to try to scratch it. So go to brucehooley.com and click flooring, brucehooley.com and click flooring. So Monday, the stock market was in disarray, and the reason why the stock market was in disarray and the reason why NVIDIA chips, which has been the highest performing stock in the market recently, fell. They lost 15% of their value, NVIDIA did, on Monday, which is like $500 million. That's a big hit. And the reason why was because China unveiled this new form of AI called DeepSeek. Okay. Now, I don't know a lot about AI, but I know it's the wave of the future. I've used it once. I don't use it very often. I used it once just to test it. True confession, I didn't use it on my own computer because I was afraid that, I'd get hacked and all my information would. I didn't use it on the office computer before you panic out there at Salem headquarters. But I'm just saying, I used it one time and it was remarkable. It was remarkable. I put in a couple parameters and boom, it spit it right back at me. It is remarkable. Scary, remarkable. But it's expensive, right? We hear all the time we got to upgrade our electrical grid because we need all this power and we got to do chips, high-end chips. We got to, unseat everybody's way of life out in Orange Township to build this monstrous Intel factory. And we got to get the chips back here in the United States away from Taiwan, because what if China takes over Taiwan, which is less of a threat now than it was under Joe Biden, which is another reason why we should be on our knees every morning thanking God that Trump won the election. But I digress. AI, expensive, and the wave of the future. Okay, so China on Monday, they debut this thing called DeepSeek, which is a new form of AI, a new app. You can go online and download it. And stupidly, not foolishly, stupidly, a lot of Americans did it. A lot of Americans did it. Oh, look, this is great, right? Yeah, it's great. You're giving China all your emails, all your keystrokes, all your GPS data. Like, what is it with American citizens? I told my kids when I handed them their phones, I'm like, hey, you put TikTok on this phone, your phone goes away because it's a Chinese spy app. And then when they threatened to take TikTok away, when the Supreme Court said TikTok's got to go away, what was the number one app? It was something else, another Chinese version of TikTok. Now we get DeepSeek from China, which they contend is so much cheaper and is done with old computers and all that. I'll get to that in a moment. But Alan Rogers, what is it with the American public that they don't seem to understand that China is not our friend? And if they are giving you an app, encouraging you to use it, and that would include Temu and Shine and all these shopping apps where you get junk for nothing, you're giving them all your data. Why do Americans do this, Alan? They are our enemy. Yeah. Well said. Well said. A perfect analogy. Okay, so DeepSeek. Oh, it's so much cheaper. Oh, we're way behind. Oh no, Trump did this deal with SoftBank and OpenAI and I can't think of the third entity. Anyway. Oh, we're so behind on. No. Do you not see you're being played, right? Like, they're acting like they took a computer chip. China would have you believe they took a computer chip out of an old Radio Shack TRS-80 computer and they built an OpenAI platform. Here's the coding and you can have it for free. Let me ask you something, folks. Going back as far as you want to, what is China really, really good at? Economic espionage, right? Any of you ever bought knockoff golf clubs? No, they're not knockoffs. They say Callaway on them. Yeah, they don't hit the ball very far, do they? Because they're phony baloney Callaway clubs made by China. They rip off our technology and sell it back to, I'll be kind, unsophisticated American consumers. Well, Clinton gave our jobs to Mexico, so I wouldn't rule it out that it was him. Well, Nixon was the one who wanted to normalize and did normalize our relations with China. We're not absolved of that on our side of the aisle. Yeah, well, here's the deal, folks. Does anyone see the coincidence that at the very moment in time that TikTok might go away, China all of a sudden says, oh, look, we have this much cheaper, much better AI platform. You should download that on your phone. Yeah. Now, going back to my point about economic espionage, that they're great at stealing our technology and our innovation. Are our universities populated solely by clean-cut, blonde-hair, blue-eyed American students at the highest levels of electronics and engineering and all that? Or are there a large number of students who come here from other countries and attend Stanford and Cal and all those places and have been for 20 years? I think the latter is true. And then what do? Then they go back to China because we've taught them how to program and code and do all these things. And they also have contacts here in the United States of America and maybe take back with them technology that they've been exposed to while they were in America. Now, if they can steal our technology on all manner of manufactured products, do you think it's remotely possible that even though NVIDIA chips, the highest end possible computer chips out there, do you think it's possible that NVIDIA chips have been smuggled out of the United States and into China, and NVIDIA chips were used to build DeepSeek, and they're just telling us that it was not NVIDIA chips? You're taking the word of China. Oh, look at this. They said they did it really cheap. They said they did it for a couple $1 million. Just Xi Jinping found the money in his couch cushions and they built this platform. And now we'd like for all of you to have it. We're so nice. We'd like for all of you to have it. It's preposterous. It's preposterous. And here's Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, calling BS on the whole thing.
I call BS on that. What they did is they ripped off 50 or 60,000 chips from NVIDIA in the black market somewhere. And basically, this is a state-sponsored enterprise. And they've done something very smart. They basically built a free app for you that you can download, and then it scrapes all your emails. So if you're the supreme leader and you think that TikTok's going to go dark and you're losing your number one access to Americans' information, why not just leak out something like this?
It's like a Trojan horse.
And they've done this with other apps as well. While we're going through this debate over the next 68 days, it's the fate of TikTok. They've got Lemonade, which is owned by ByteDance. They've got another one called Mao's Little Red Book. I think you would do this if you want to have other lifeboats as you think your main TikTok is sinking. But there's a much bigger issue here. If you don't think we're in an economic war with China, you would be wrong. If you don't think we're in a race on technology, you would be wrong. If you don't think we're competing to become the world's largest economy, that's what they're trying to do. Do you think they would allow us to create an app in China where the American server sitting here, the Chinese downloaded, and we scrape their emails? There's not a chance in hell they would let us do that. So why are we letting them do that here?
That's a great question. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've got good people. I mean, Trump has good people around him, Kudlow and others, and O'Leary is obviously a Trump guy. But it's just common sense, folks. They are our enemy. I don't know why we allow any of those apps in the United States. I mean, we should just outlaw them all because they have been, going back more than 20 years, an economic adversary. They do not play fair, and we are reliant on them. We did not learn our lesson during the pandemic, which, by the way, I underplayed the CIA as soon as John Ratcliffe was confirmed as CIA director. I underplayed the significance of the CIA saying, yes, COVID came from a lab leak. Did you realize 25 million people died worldwide? There was not a single person in the United States of America whose life was not massively disrupted by COVID-19, which China either intentionally or unintentionally, and it doesn't matter, leaked it so that it would do damage throughout the world. And we just sort of like have glossed over that and have not held them accountable for it in any way, shape, or form.
Clouds and limited sun, breezy afternoon, high today at 42. Breezy this evening, clear skies tonight, low 25. Increasing cloudiness tomorrow, high 45. Rain tomorrow night with the low at 41. And very rain mildly on Friday.
No, I never adjust.
What's up?
Nothing. This thing keeps moving.
Oh, sorry. I'm not touching it.
I know you have it.
We're on I got my live stream going on, so.
I'm Steve Williams.
But that's the camera on top of the. This is this camera.
Live stream.
Yeah, this is you.
Yeah.
Right here.
If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you want to try it first.
Am I looking off camera? Is that why?
With their 3-week quick start kit for only $19.95, less than $1 a day. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily.
What's Megan got to say?
I don't think he broke the law at all. But even if it's true, the electorate rejected it out of hand as too much. It made the Democrats look radical. It made the Democrats look like they were the ones who were anti-democratic. It undermined their core argument against Trump on January 6th. They shot themselves in the foot. And so as the cases started rolling on, the
And we know that the single greatest driver of high quality nursing home care is the involvement, the proximity of family members. When you move that nursing facility away from the community where the kids live, you're going to get much worse care. So the intention, although it was noble, was in reality, for rural areas at least, it is going to be a disaster.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Senator Johnson. Ms. King.
So when it's a live read, it's my pillow.
If you've been injured in an accident,
And after that, you're open.
Listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case or how much is potentially worth. Call 800-745-9090. From U.S. spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-745-9090. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-745-9090.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center may not be available in all states.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than
60 seconds.
200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no coverage at all. These days, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of the biggest expenses can be your car, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan. You could save thousands with one call to CarShield. Call 800-840-1546 now to see if you qualify. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Repairs to your engine, transmission, and more can become a thing of the past. Plus, call 800-840-1546 right now and get free repair assistance, free towing, and car rental options. Call 800-840-1546 today and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Just call 800-840-1546 to see if your car qualifies. 800-840-1546. That's 800-840-1546. Again, 800-840-1546. Coverage varies by plans. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
Hey, if you've seen Mike Lindell on TV, like you saw Caroline Leavitt, the new press secretary, on TV yesterday. You see Emily Campagno on Fox News. What do they all have in common? They all wear a cross necklace. If you'd like to put your Christianity on display, Mike Lindell hears you, and he is now making available at mypillow.com what he calls the My Cross necklace. Now, you'll save 20% with a promo code, if only you had one. Oh, wait, you do. It's Bruce. Save 20%. Now, this is a high-end item, a really fine piece of jewelry made especially for whether you want it in a woman's style or a men's style. They have it. So that's one of the great deals at mypillow.com right now. I can't believe I'm looking at this price right now. Flannel sheets. I've been telling you they're $60, half price. They're lower today, $45 for a set of flannel sheets at mypillow.com. The My Towel 6-piece set, $29.98. And of course, MyPillow in an array of sizes under $20. Go to mypillow.com. Use my promo code, Bruce. So getting back to what I was saying about China and the pandemic that we never have held them accountable for at all, it has manifested itself in, as we all knew at the time, learning loss. We put our kids on Zoom school. It was an epic disaster. A lot of kids in big inner city schools didn't even bother to attend. If they were attending, they'd turn their cameras off and just go do whatever they wanted to do. And our math scores and our English scores plummeted around the country. I know in the district that I live in, our teachers, our staff, our administration have done a phenomenal job of making astronomical gains and getting us back up to where we were at pre-pandemic levels. That has not been the case everywhere, as is obvious from numbers released Wednesday by the National Center for Education Studies. Now, they found that reading and math scores still have not recovered from the COVID-19 pandemic. And if you extrapolate this out, okay, for instance, 41% of fourth graders and 1/3 of eighth graders still do not read at basic levels. 4 out of 10 fourth graders and 1/3 of eighth graders cannot read at acceptable levels. Now, that has far-reaching implications going forward, because making up that learning loss requires a giant devotion of resources in the schools to get kids back up to that level. And a lot of times schools don't have the resources, they don't have the personnel, and kids get frustrated. And what happens when you get frustrated, right? Do you want to engage? Do you want to say, I'm going to dig in and I'm really going to learn this? No, it's an activity that doesn't offer you affirmation because you're not good at it. And so it's very hard to get kids to dig in and devote themselves to learning something that they should have learned a long time ago, but couldn't because they were on Zoom school. Now, these scores, 41% of fourth graders and 1/3 of eighth graders not reading at basic levels, are the worst scores in 2 decades. So what does it mean? Like, actually, they can't read, they struggle over it, whatever. No, for fourth graders, it means that if they read a text and things are presented in a sequential order, that after they read the text, they're unable to put those things in the sequential order that they read them. For eighth graders, it means that you read a descriptive text about a person, their character traits, things like that. Eighth graders can't recall them. Why? Because their minds are so focused on just reading the word or are undone by the struggle of reading the word that they can't grasp the content of what they're reading. What about the results here in Ohio? Numbers are a little better, not much better. Instead of 41%, which is the national number, Ohio, 38% of fourth graders. That's really negligible, okay? We're doing better. We're not doing much better. And eighth graders, instead of 1/3, it's 31%. Again, we're a little bit better. We're negligibly better. It really doesn't make much difference. Math scores, we're doing a little bit better there. Ohio's eighth grade students, according to this study, outperformed their peers nationally in math. Fourth grade scores pretty much match up nationally. And Ohio's not really improved in math or reading since 2022. Now, I do think there's promise on the horizon in terms of reading, because one of the good things Governor Mike DeWine has done, and I'm never shy about telling you the bad things Mike DeWine has done, which include hiding from his voters. And of course, the worst thing he did was veto the SAFE Act, which thankfully he was overridden on that by our strong Republican supermajority in the House and Senate. But Mike DeWine has stipulated a return to the science of reading. If you're of, I don't know when they went to this dumb look at a word and not really sound it out method of reading, but whenever they did that, that's when our reading scores started to plummet. Most of you listening to my show, I would wager, went to school where they taught you the sound of a letter, right? Like a C makes a K, or in other cases can make a different sound. Vowels, A, E, I, O, U, what those sounds were. And then what would they tell you when you struggled over a word? What would they tell you? Sound it out, right? Sound it out, okay? So we got away from that in the state of Ohio, and we're going back now. We're mandated to go back to what is called, let me give it a fancy name, of course, the science of reading. In other words, just the way that works. That's what we're back to. Reading is fundamental. Yeah, I remember that. Hooked on phonics. Yeah. So that's what that science of reading is, phonics. That's what it is. What sound does the letter make? Okay, so some other school headlines locally. Westerville was thinking of putting a levy on the ballot in May. They have decided against that. They were rejected in their levy ask last fall, 52 to 48. I think that tight margin might suggest that Westerville School Board's deafness to the desire of many of its residents to have LifeWise Academy as an option for kids in schools. Could that have made a difference in 4% of the vote? I think that's reasonable to assume. So now they don't have that option because, again, thank you, Republican supermajority in the Ohio General Assembly. They have changed the language in the law to schools may offer release time religious instruction to shall offer release time religious instruction. But I think the Westerville School Board made a lot of enemies, and they've aligned themselves with the Westerville Progressive Alliance, which of course has made a lot of enemies of conservative people who live in the Westerville School District. And I guess they read the tea leaves and realized that they didn't have the votes, and so they weren't going to ask, because this is like selling your house, passing a school levy. When you price your house to sell, you want to price it at a price someone will be attracted to and buy it. Because if your house is on the market for a long time, because the price is too high, people tend to look at your house as, why is that house still on the market? What's wrong? There must be something wrong with it. When it comes to a school levy, if you don't pass it the first time, or particularly the second time, then you've got to start stripping stuff out of it. Don't ask for more than you absolutely positively need, and be able to defend the reasons behind why you're asking for it. And that was difficult in Westerville because, according to Ohio Senate spokesman John Fortney, Westerville had $161 million in cash reserves when they asked for another levy. And people who've been beat up by, how many people's property taxes went through the roof in the last year with the reassessment? Yeah. So you're like, okay, hey, give us more money. Whoa, look at your taxes. And people were like, no, not going to do it. You're not responsive to our needs. So Westerville decided they're not going to ask. They're going to make, of course, they're making cuts. Every cut in every school is catastrophic. Oh, it's catastrophic. My guess is they'll still be educating kids at Central, at South, and at North. Maybe, could be. I mean, I think my kids do shop on one of those Chinese shopping apps. Yes, of course. Kids don't understand, and we of course don't dare tell them in school that that's dangerous and that those. First of all, you can't dare say the Chinese are our enemy. Oh, that's xenophobic. Everybody, we can't dare say that anybody's bad. So, yeah, that's explains the market adjustment on Monday. And thankfully, Trump is focused on China and projects power, which, of course, is not the case in the last 4 years.
While Dennis Prager is recuperating, we know you missed your daily dose of Dennis. That's why Pragertopia is giving you a special gift. Right now, Pragertopia members can hear the...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for hour number one. Hope you have a great day today. I had a great day yesterday. I have another great meeting this afternoon. Looking forward to it. Hope you have a great day. And we'll see you back for a Thursday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. You can catch the rest of the show if you want to watch the live stream at the Bruce Hooley Show Facebook page or at the 989 The Answer Facebook page. Have a good one. God bless.